Yo, what's up everybody? Jumpin' here. And today I want to talk about this Kyle nuke, and I also want to show you the way that I'm doing it, and hopefully this can help a lot of people out, because I've talked to some people and they don't know what they're doing. Unfortunately, it seems like a lot of people are getting Kyle, and because they don't know how to play Kyle, they're kind of confused on what they need to be doing here. Now the first thing I'm going to show you here, this is Devourer. I chose him because he's basically the same as Gluttony. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to simply use my Bulwark and get close to him. And by pulling this out and then jumping into him and looking up, I can build up my resource instantly. And at that point, I can just go ahead and shoot, build up my stacks. Now, the way that this bug works is that I'm using mental focus on a machine gun. Once I get 150 stacks, that's the most damage I can get. I need to release my ultimate skill once I'm at 150 stacks like this. I'm going to release it now. And before I hit him, I need it to wear off. And then boom. It's an easy one-shot. So that skill mod is kind of rare. Maybe you have it, maybe you don't. If you've been playing the game a lot, who knows? Maybe you do. And if you do, it's that easy and that quick to just go ahead and build up your resource, do your shots, and go in for your ultimate to do the big damage. Now, I'm going to go ahead and cut this ahead, and I'm going to show you another way that you can actually get your resource super quickly. And this is more for people who basically, you just got Kyle, you're trying to do this, and you don't know what you're doing. I'm going to show you the easiest way to build up resource on Kyle. Alrighty, well, this is a public one, and what I'm going to do here is that before I even engage this guy, I'm going to shoot my gun just to start pre-building up the stacks to make this a little bit quicker. Because I'm using the Enduring Legacy, it does take me longer to build up stacks. I can slow fire this a little bit if needed, but as he lands, I'm going to dash into him. Now I have cooldown, so I can spam dash, but I don't really have to. I'm going to stand in the lava here, and I'm going to let him take my shield away. And at this point, I can just back away, and look at my resource. It's coming back, and it's going to fill up. Need to get to 150 stacks. We're going to go up, and here we go. GG, boys. But that's another way that you can easily build up your resource on Kyle. And any Kyle can do that. That is just Kyle's passive. You just have to have it trigger, and you're going to get 80% of your resource. So it's a very easy technique to use. And now I'm going to talk about my equipment, my build, things like that if you're interested. Alrighty, well, let's go ahead and talk about this. I'm going to show my mods, and the special skill mod that I was using to build up the resource is Diamagnetic Bulwark. I don't know if you have that or not. It's kind of rare, but I would think that if you played enough and you farmed enough, maybe randomly you got it to drop. And if you did, or if you have combined some mods together, maybe you've gotten this. And it's amazing for building up the resource. There are other things that I'm going to talk about here, but it's going to be other ways of also building up resource. The main thing to focus on if you have a base Kyle, I personally think you want the cooldown, which would be MP Conversion, Nimble Fingers. Focus on non-attribute. You want this for the cooldown and also the skill power, obviously. The next thing, you really want shields if possible. It's important for your damage because your ultimate is going to get way more damage depending on how many shields you actually have. But I would actually maybe get the cooldown over the shields just because I think that it's more useful. The main thing is to try to get your resource full. That's your number one goal, is to make sure that you can get your resource full and hopefully you don't die. That is the one downside to losing your shield technique, is that even though when you lose your shield, you'll start to regenerate your shield, if you get hit really hard, you might just die. And against Gluttony, well, he's one of those bosses that might hit you pretty hard and kill you. This you don't need. You don't need this. You don't need HP. You can skip most of everything. But overall, try to get the cooldown. Try to get some shields if possible. And Dangerous Ambush here is really good if you maybe have two Kyles. Because if you're coordinated, the first one can go in and hit. The boss is going to fall over. And then the person who has this end can come in for the second hit. And even if you're on a base Kyle with no damage, this is a crazy modifier to give you a lot of damage. And you will definitely finish off Gluttony if you have Dangerous Ambush. Now I want to talk about the Secret Garden, because you can use this as well if you have it to build resource. You have to use your dimensional skill. The trigger rate on this is really bad, especially on a base version, so it's going to take you a while to build up your resource. Now I talked about cooldown. Main reason is because cooldown is just really good, but with cooldown you can spam your skills so much better. I need to actually take this out real quick and I can actually show this. But with the Secret Garden, what you would do is you can use your normal bulwark every 0.4 seconds. That's crazy. And you can spam this to try to build up your resource. And then you can also spam your spurt at the same time, and hopefully you can get your resource up that way. And then finally, you can always just use your dash to build resource. Every time you hit them, you're going to get some resource. Cooldown again, very important, because dash's cooldown is kind of terrible. When you actually have cooldown though, 2.4 seconds is insane. I can spam it like crazy. For your components, you definitely want to get as many shields as you can get, but if you have the Slayer set, just use the Slayer set. It's better anyway. You get skill damage. The skill damage that you get is better than the shields that you can get from other components. But shields on your components would be very helpful, just because it's going to give you more damage. I will actually show that real quick. If you look at this skill, when you consume your magnetic force, your resource, you're going to get a bonus damage. So you absolutely want to try to have maximum resource when you use this. And also, if you don't know Kyle's resource, his maximum amount is based on his maximum shields, 200% more. You can have a lot of resource if you have a lot of shields. So you definitely want to try to focus a little bit on shields if possible. Reactor wise, a purple one would work fine, but if you have a purple one, make sure it's non-attribute in tech. You want to focus on the ultimate damage. The Tamer is a great weapon for doing this because its fire rate is really quick. And if you have a purple reactor with non-attribute in tech, I think that it would work fine. But if you do have a ultimate one, a non-attribute dimension one like I do, you can use the Enduring Legacy. If you have one like this is fine. The ultimate reactors generally will give you way more damage for your skills, so you could use an ultimate. But a purple's fine, and the Tamer is fine as well for doing this. Alrighty guys, I think that's about everything I wanted to talk about and show you. I would appreciate it if you could like this video for me. Be sure to subscribe for future First Descendant videos, and I really do hope that everyone has a very nice day, and peace out.